Sunnahfollowers, protectors of the Sunnah. Sunnahfollowers, protectors of the Sunnah.
Action.
Alhamdulillah, wassalat, wassalam ala wa rasulullah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. And welcome to another session of Sunnah Followers Open Forum. Allah has blessed us with different modes of technology and science. And thanks to social media, networking and communication with others is a cinch. But the question is, are these methods of technology and science being used to our detriment? We will explore this question today in our forum. Dr. Jamali will speak about the dangers of science and technology if applied in the wrong way. Afterwards, we will be joined by Sheikh Morsi, and we will all answer any questions you may have concerning this topic. I will now turn it over to Sunnah Followers Director and one of our leading scholars, Dr. Ibrahim Darmali.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillah wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Allahumma salli wa sallim ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Kama sallaita ala Ibrahim wa ala Ibrahim fil alameen innaka hamidun majid. Wa barik ala Muhammadin wa ala Muhammad kama barakta ala Ibrahim wa ala Ibrahim fil alameen innaka hamidun majid. Sister Layla, Jazakallah khair for this topic. In fact, since last week, we told me about this topic. I'm researching for many universities. Alhamdulillah, I have an access to many universities. I used to teach in Medina University and Dake University, many universities, alhamdulillah, I teach. So I get the access to many research about this topic. In fact, this topic is scary in a good way and the other way. But we'll speak about the most important thing, brother and sister. To use it, I didn't say it's haram, and it's not halal also, but when become halal and when haram. But in this topic, I'm not going to speak about halal and haram, period. Inshallah, Rabbil Alameen, I'm going to speak about the science. As me in the first PhD in science, so we'll speak about the science about this topic. In fact, the majority of the people, even homeless, in every different state, different country, they have cell phone and social media in general. The internet now all over the world, with no question. No problem, in fact, it's good. For example, my people in Palestine, I see my family in daily basis, alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen. But we'll speak in positive and negative here. To protect, number one, to protect ourselves. I cannot protect you, but you can protect yourself. Cell phone, by the way, is a ni'mah, as Sister Layla said. Allah given us a lot of bounties. And that is the phone, to use it is a ni'mah for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, with no question. But also, the phone also gonna help many people at the same time. And sometimes, by the way, we don't know. I can get some information from the internet and use it. And sometimes I hurt myself and I hurt the others around me. So, but still, the most important thing, we have to go to the resources in the social media normally, or the internet in general. Okay. By the way, I big research. I did that in many universities. The minimum, whoever have a cell phone using the internet 2 hours a day, minimum, by the way. There is not know that in research, many research, I can conclusion with the many research, different universities as this can, the minimum, the people using 2 hours a day on the internet. Some people, believe it or not, some people 24 hours. So me, myself, I use it, especially when I speak to my family. sometimes long time. For my family is great family, big family. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless all my family and all the Muslims, inshallah. I mean, but also that really, that cell phone when I speak to the people, do I hurt myself or not? We speak about inshallah more details. But number one, I have to admit that yes, I use the cell phone. Number one. Number two, that benefits me or not. Some people, I'm researching, good to research, beautiful to research. But you think that screen, I'm going to speak about more details scientifically, of course, then it helped me. Okay, now, in fact, we spending our time in social media, not researching social media, also hours and hours and hours, especially social media with families and friends and books and lecture and games. In fact, I was in a picnic recently and I see the kids, the kids have cell phone and iPad. In fact, I know some kids, when I go to in the market, actually you do the same maybe. Many people will see a baby and the mom, normally the moms, carrying the baby and the baby having iPhone or iPad in his hand and playing. Okay. Now we still said that all this introduction about the meaning of that is a big part of my life and your life and everyone's life, social media and the phone and internet in general. With no question, the key, we have to admit that. We have to admit, yes, we do. Now, we'll go on. Also, how many of us, including myself, have anxiety, depression? Many things happen to me. The question I have to ask myself, why I have anxiety? Why some people, Brother Ibrahim, and every day I have anxiety, dreams, bad dreams. I had depression and. But do there is a reason? Absolutely. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, everything a reason. Allah created everything with a reason. And also, I'm a human being. Everything happened to me as Allah Azza wa Jal, بما عملت أنفسكم. What we did ourselves, brothers and sisters. Okay, a lot of people, anxiety, by the way, a disease. And disease, some people don't know, it's not disease. Nobody believes it or not. Scientifically, it's disease and great. Some people, this anxiety, because the people kill themselves because of the anxiety. Some people kill themselves just because of anxiety. Some people divorce and problem, husband and wife and boys and girls, everyone has anxiety. But here the question, level anxiety. Everybody have his own level of anxiety, my dear brother and sister. Some people become addicted to the social media, addicted to the phone. In fact, I saw some people, myself, kids even, addicted really to the social media and the phone in general. Or the phone, and the phone for them is God. In fact, some parents say, really, when you want to punish me, you could take the phone away at least for 1 hour. Believe it or not, even the parents, of course, not all the parents, but when I see the majority of the parents say, no, I can't. Especially with all my respect sisters, I know how a lot of us, sister Layla is a group, I can't. But believe it or not, if you are not controlling the phone in your hand of your babies or your kids, regarding the age, you're going to destroy your kid indirectly. I'm going to use proofs with that. It's not only my opinion, as I said, I've researched many universities. In fact, Sister Layla, Jazakallah Khair, I'm going to publish a book about that, scientifically and Islamically. But we spoke on Sheikh Morsi and I and Sister Layla, we spoke about before Islamically halal, haram. But now concentrate about science, number one. Don't forget, brother and sister, Allah gave everything in earth. And the proof we spoke about with Adam alayhi salam, and For Allah created everything to Adam, and now we are children of Adam, brothers and sisters. Now, and I said a lot of science, a lot of scientific people, researchers, especially people in this kind of matter spoke about it. You know, I was shocked. Every state in America, and not only that, in the whole world, all the universities now, especially now, I surprised that a department of universities now, every university about the anxiety of the people, psychology of the people, many things of the people. But here, and not only that, but it's not also this university that the research is always solution. I can accept it. I don't know. I'm just a nice lecture and that's it. Alhamdulillah. Jazakallah khair. No. Whatever we in our group here with Sister Layla, Jazakallah khair, Sister Layla, he comprehend what I said. Maybe my English not really good. Even Sister Layla herself sometimes cannot understand very well that of my wife. You have to explain. But if you not understand something, in the end we'll discuss it together. Now, as I said, the most important thing, brother, restrain yourself. You have to protect yourself. And if you're protecting yourself, that means protecting whoever around you, husband, wife, and kids, and everyone around you. But of course, I went to the University of being a future company. Many research about that. I was reading. Then I also had to contact some professors to and understand. I found a lot of stress about many people, stress, anxiety, but also not only that, the stress sometimes can explode. The stress can be anything you can imagine. Stress, you can make force and divorce and killing people, some killing yourself sometimes. In fact, recently, a father killed his own son because of the phone. I was shocked. And where? In my country, in Palestine, in Gaza Strip. What about here in America? I didn't see that, but Allah protect everyone, inshallah. But the events in daily basis, for example, recently we have a new president. And not only that, all over the state, problem between the two presidents. Which one? In fact, many people have anxiety and more and sadness and stress and pressure on themselves. Not only that, the COVID-19 spread more, unfortunately, brothers and sisters. But the negativity here destroyed the person. To be a negative, by the way, no, that negativity, brothers and sisters, especially the social media, a lot of negativity. But to follow that negativity and more and stress and more and share it, you're going to destroy yourself. My advice, this research, actually many research, because the result, be away from it. Be away from any kind of stress. Social media, I mean, the president, everyone, including myself, by the way. But alhamdulillah, I didn't listen to the news. I got some things about CNN, Al Jazeera, this stuff, what's going on. But minutes, not even 5 minutes, less than even 3-4 minutes. And that's it. But the ones, I know some people all day long, I'm talking about in even Palestine, do the same thing. What about here in America, in our president? We choose our president in America. Anyway, brothers and sisters, don't forget, social media, the negativity among us and among the side of people actually, every the media, and especially in a phone or iPad or anything, to listen to it and become addicted to it, you destroy your life. And actually, in many cases, in different university, in California University, actually recently, before the COVID, I'm talking about even this research before COVID-19, people comes, they kill themselves because of the anxiety, because of the pressure, stress. Okay. Now, if I know this kind of events happen to me, and just pressure and tension, what am I supposed to do? Still, I have to watch the news. I have to watch the social media. I have to watch that person and that person and person. That person, a good person, and that person fighting this person, and you are in the middle. You are not even part of the problem, but you are in the middle of the problem. Actually, with this research, I was so afraid even to listen to that person, negative person or positive person, but it scared me. What about the kids, our youth? Don't forget, brothers and sisters, our youth is our generation. My age and sister Layla age, we give da'wah. But the key, our own kids. Our own kids is number one in our life support. How to guide our kids in the right path. To give free social media for my kids, internet in general, that you go, in this research, again, I found many cases. I don't know why in New York and California and Texas, most likely, and also Chicago. Anyway, we're going to continue, inshallah. And also, by the way, some social media, like for Twitter, for example. Twitter, most likely, the people, special people about that. You know, that Trump, his Twitter, that person, Twitter. I have Twitter myself. But only scientific things I watch. I say I'm following some scientific people. Science here. Islamic and non-Muslims. Muslims and non-Muslims. I watch, I read. But also supposed to be limited. And not only that, you will be surprised what I just found. Don't forget, also the science, please pay attention to that. Between men and men, women, sisters and brothers in the social media and internet in general is different, completely different. And boys and girls, different. Babies, male and female, different. The research, different here. But also I found that actually with my research, the most people affected by the social media is the females, with all my research sister. The most likely that affected the social media. Why? Of course, less stress for the men. The men actually, when thinking, especially if they are women and home with kids. The man more, and of course, me, myself. My kids, I have 4 kids, but really, whatever they do, but always the mom. You know, my wife here, when her son go anything, she have to chat, be the phone, follow what who go on. Yeah, ask a question. Very important, not beautiful to do that. And worry about the kids, but don't forget, my age and my era and your era, brother and sister, listen to me, different era, different level of thinking also. Don't forget that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us that. You know, my thinking, and also thinking also husband and wife. If me and my wife thinking exactly is the same, we're not going to have a good life. You know, some negativity here, some argument, yes. As by the way, it's healthy to have some kind of argument, but with the result, have a solution. But I'm stubborn and she's stubborn, that's a problem. I believe it or not, social media making that. I can give you a more proof with that. But also, the women actually, they always have more jihad struggles. This. Oh, I want this. I want this. In a woman also, I wanted to be beautiful things in my life and especially my household. That's beautiful. But also don't forget, you're gonna destroy yourself. If you want to make everything peace, what about me? It's good to take care of your father and mom, your son and your daughter, and yourself also. Allah asked me about myself. You know, it's number one. And then my family. And in fact, the research found out especially a woman household, always in the house, most likely, she's working and is still everything in the house, she has more stress, anxiety, and is not and a pressure. And unfortunately, some men, they don't care about that. Some women, for a woman, she work, she take care of the kids, she cook, and everything, and the husband sometimes, oh, what you did this, what that, that's completely wrong. And our example, as I mentioned before, Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he worked with the wife, but of course it's not Islamic lecture here, we're talking about scientific, but Rasulullah, our example, he worked with his own wife, he cooked, even his clothes, he fixed his clothes, his shoes. His wife is not conditioned to do that for a husband. But in our era now, I'm talking about me as an Arab. The woman shall do everything. But is that Islamically? No. It's a culture. But I see many research about that. But of course, depression also about that. The most important, the mood of every person, brothers and sisters. Everybody has his own mood. Today, my mood, I'm very relaxing. Tomorrow, I'm not relaxing. But believe it or not, the moment I open my iPad, I see the news, my mood completely change. If I open my phone, most likely for the people in the phone, the mood changed. But here, of course, don't forget, the mood, you bring the mood to yourself. Many research about the mood of the person. The brain, how is my mood? Some people in the morning, believe it or not, give me your attention, but that's very important. A lot of people have my mood is not really feeling good. My mood. And I don't, even some people, I don't want to eat. So we're supposed to eat. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us food to eat. But many research about that, we're going to speak about it in more detail, inshallah. Sometimes more stress and more anxiety, and I hate myself, people, believe it or not, but especially about a couple, husband and wife. Sometimes they have to evaluate my love, evaluate my understanding between my husband and wife, my son and my daughter, my father and my mom. Evaluate the emotion, feeling of everyone. Yes, believe it or not, the 3 universities, I researched with 3 universities, they have more than 1 million cases that about this, that only the brochures. Get the brochure. I don't have a brochure here. I read the brochure. That brochure, by the way, makes you so happy. Oh my God, that's my future. And some brochure, the opposite. But the question here, that brochure in the mail, actually, when I go to the mail, many brochures. The key, if I read every brochure in my mail, and something I cannot read, and not only give you an option, this and that, and free. If you sign up, hundreds and thousands of dollars. So really, brothers and sisters, the brochures is not 100% for the person, but don't forget that you're gonna hurt yourself, and if you are married, you hurt your own family. The research actually, when I look research, subhanAllah, I decide actually any mail, like when I get the mail, I look any magazine and I think throw it away, and I'm not even looking, because I don't want to destroy my life. Something I love, but I cannot afford. Some people, by the way, I love, okay, good credit card and get some interest. Of course, I'm not going to speak Islamically here, but haram, we know, is interest usually is haram. Is haram. Yes. My medicine? Yeah, I got it. Thank you. Jazakallah khair. Sorry. Now, also, brothers and sisters, a lot of people asking themselves for happiness. I want to be happy. It's good to be happy. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the secret of happiness. I'm not going to say Islamically, but me myself, for example, if I have something, I have anxiety. Sometimes my kids do this, my kids. I go straight, if you don't read Arabic, Quran, the Arabic, the only surah make me more relaxing. Surah Yusuf alayhi salam. Believe me. But if you don't understand English, Arabic, read it in English. Listen at least. Comprehend Surah Yusuf. How much he has so deep since he was a baby until he died, sallallahu alayhi salam. Brothers and sisters. But also, don't forget, the social media make you not be positive and most likely in negative. And you choose. I choose to look at, to fix my anxiety, my life. Don't forget, especially if I have a family. Also, computer, they have some research or whatever the company, the computer and human behavior. This is really, when I went to this research, is many organizations in America and England as well, computer and human behavior and health. I was shocked. I was shocked. I read and read and read. Thank you, Sister Layla, when you open my mind to speak in more details about that. Brother and sister, wallahi, you can destroy your life completely. Destroy literally, maybe, of course, not suddenly, step by step by step. Don't forget, your brain is a sponge. A sponge. You get information. Maybe I'm not thinking about too much, but another more information, more researches become an idea in your mind. And this idea here, you're going to destroy your life more than any better. But when I read this research, money research, I was shocked. In fact, I was worried about myself because I use the social media. I still the computer. Alhamdulillah, I used to teach in Medina University and Drake University, and here also. I go to research in different universities. I have an access. When I read this, I become shocked. In fact, I'm reading since Saraya told me a week now. More and more and more, I was completely shocked. Brother and sister, I'm worried about you with this social media. Then destroyed our life step by step by step. You're gonna destroy your life. Okay, now a lot of, by the way, very important here. Some people, social media, you have Facebook and Twitter and many social media. Many social media. Some people, they said, if you go more than 4 social media on daily basis, you have more trouble, anxiety, and depression. 4, and 2 less, and 1 more less. And also the time of the social media during this time and this time and this time. And actually, one of the research, actually, they already contacted more 3,000 people in different states in America here. And then they found out some people have 7 types of social media. Honestly, I don't know any, just only 3 social media I know. But I found out more than that. I found out actually recently. With those people have all kinds of social media, that person always have anxiety and depression and more and more and more. Less and less depression, less anxiety, less depression, and less problems in your life. So, and that's very important, brother and sister. I have troubles of anxiety just because looking at social media. I have to watch myself. Me myself, I have only 3, only Facebook and Twitter and Twitter. That's the only things I watch sometimes, not every day. But I found myself, yes, I should be less. Since I was reading, barely to go to Facebook, barely Twitter, and I believe it not, Twitter only just to see some certain people in the Twitter. Facebook, yes, the whole family. My family is big family, but still I decide to go a little bit. Not only that, social media also, brother and sister, please give me attention to that. Very important. Recently, and Jazakallah khair, my wife actually, her idea, my phone should not be in my room. My phone should not be my phone because normally my family in Palestine, between me and America and Palestine, like 8 hours different. I want to just speak to my family. But not only that, as far as the phone next to the person, you not only that, your eyes hurts, your brain hurts, your tongue. And if you are a woman here and you read about your face, any sister with no exception, I have many research about that. Any sister is in the morning, most of the sister, the majority of the sister, they have the makeup and this and that. In the morning, especially if she sleep late, plus the phone next to her or iPad or internet, that rays come to your face. I have many research come to your face become very soon old woman. It depends about your age. That's as far as social media. Some people not only that, they take the iPad and they have games. Some games also. I don't know how to make, me myself, I don't know any games. I don't know how. But I heard in the research, many females, more than men, they have games in the iPad and the phones. That X-ray, the blue rays actually come to the eyes. Number one, your eyes and the skin and your brain, and most likely your sleep gonna go right. You're gonna be some people snoring, some people have bad dreams, and man, more. I have a big research, but it scared me. Be careful and be careful. Not even before, supposed to be actually the hadith of Rasul. I know that Islamically here, but even after Isha, supposed to be everything away, pray Isha and sleep. Supposed to be. My advice, sister, should not have any social media, anything raised, and it plates a screen in front of you before you sleep. I've got a sister and men as well. But men normally, I don't care to be old man or not. But believe it or not, brother, still men about to be responsible. Allah will ask me about my face and my body. You're gonna hurt yourself. You hurt yourself and become old. For example, if you are 50 years old, with this, you could, especially always social media, the screen come to your face, every day we become older and older and older. Of course, it's not one day, it's days. May Allah protect us from that, brother and sister. Also, the feeling of trouble of sleeping, trouble of life, trouble. But in fact, the feeling anxiety and stress, I can change it. I can change it, but honestly, to look at this, why when I look at the screen, many research about that. Many research about the screen before you sleep, how much your mood, your anxiety, your sadness, sometimes make you happy, but suddenly you wake up, you are completely sad. Dreams, and sometimes you believe in dream. Some people dream from shaitan, you don't forget, make you, oh, I am this person. Very important, brother and sister, please give me attention to that. A lot of magazines before the internet and social media, women with a model and a very beautiful picture and taking the picture for the woman and actually Photoshop, and they make the woman like an angel. Sometimes naked angel, a woman, almost, of course, naked. But believe it or not, when the sister here, I'm talking about the sister, look at the magazine I'm talking about before the social media. You look at the magazine, oh my God, I want to be just like her. I want to be around. Now, everyone sends you something in social media, a lot of pictures like this, especially social in Photoshop and this. And I want, just if you think a moment, oh, I want to be just like her, and you become depressed in your life, you cannot even imagine. And your husband, they look at the same thing, magazine, and look at my wife, it's not the same. That magazine is a fake, and your wife is real. I'm talking about brothers here. If you compare, brother, your wife, Allah gave it to you as a ni'mah, your wife, and you got that video or film or movie or whatever it is, and they compare your wife to that picture, you will lose everything good in your life. With all my respect, to have a righteous woman, regardless how she look like, and do not, brother and sister, do not compare that Photoshop and those pictures to your beautiful wife next to you in the house. You have really be smart. With all my respect, whoever compare his wife to that, no, that is beautiful, I wish my wife like this, you lose your respect is number one. And believe it or not only the love, you can every day you can love any person, but the respect is the key. Don't lose your respect, brother, to look at Photoshop to compare your beautiful wife next to you. With all my respect, brother and sisters. Also, about the mood and the feeling of the mood, I want to be that person. You know, don't forget, every human being have his limit. You can be better than anybody else, you can. But that you have to work really to be in that position. Level. No problem with that. But that's it. I am better than him. You never know. You not even open his heart to see, yes, he's better than me or not. Only when he create my heart, he can tell. I ask myself about myself. You cannot judge me. You cannot accuse a person, brother and sister. Don't forget anything about that. He's better than me. I have been better. You can compete. Yes, Allah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. وفي ذلك فليتنافس المتنافسون. صوت المطففين. We competing each other. Competing. For example, one day, yesterday, a sheikh in the masjid, he's speaking about the book of the Adhkar. The sheikh now not the book, read the small books, the big book. When he read about the history of the author of the book, oh my God, I read the book, yes, but I never think about the author of the book. Number one, I need dua for him and I thank him. I came home immediately. I got the book in my library. I start not because I know the book. I read it many times, but I read even an introduction. This book, beautiful word. In fact, the whole 2 pages about the introduction, the whole bit of beautiful that even the whole entire book. Brother and sister, I have to ask myself. I cannot compare anybody else. No, and I have to be. You compete, yes. But not to envy him. Don't forget, brother and sister, a few weeks, Sheikh Morsi and I and Sister Layla talk about the hasad and envy and shayateen. Please give me attention to that. That here, not Islamic lecture, I said, science. A lot of people, they give hasad to themselves, to their own kids, to their own kids. I was shocked when I did this research about hasad, brother and sister. I stopped myself. I said, a beautiful baby, and so he's a picture or a video with someone from different country even. And I look at my son. Believe it or not, many research about the evil eye. I was shocked. Even non-Muslims are speaking about this, brother and sister. With all my respect, do not even think to compare your baby, especially a lot of sisters. Alhamdulillah, when I see babies in social media, I have to make dua from hasad and envy and shayateen. I have to make dua. If no problem to have a babies in your social media, no problem. But very, very important to make the adkar, the hasad and envy. Maybe somebody make your son and your daughter some envy for them. You never know. And actually, the research in the university and Ohio University, they did a big research about the evil eye. I was shocked. Non-Muslims speaking about this, and me, a Muslim, not even worry about that. So please, no problem, yes, but make the adkar even before you launch the picture, or write something for them, make dua for the babies before any picture in social media, with all my respect, brothers and sisters. And I said, and I can mention again, do not imagine person to compare yourself to someone else. You're gonna hurt yourself. And also, do not sleep on a tablet in front of your eyes. With all my respect, alhamdulillah, Rabbi, since my wife, Jazallah khair, my wife, she told me, take the phone outside the room. I have very peaceful sleep. In fact, I get early before Fajr, and I get Salah, Quran, everything. Why? Because I don't, even not only that, it's better actually to make it completely have a mood or the even, but the most important is take the phone away from yourself, your life completely be relaxing. Your vision, your eyes, your brain, your face is a ni'mah Allah gave it to you. Don't destroy it for just having. Sister, the time is now because I have a long research. That sister, I can continue or that's it? Sister Layla.
Oh, subhanAllah, you can continue. This is interesting. I mean, I have a lot of questions here for afterwards, and I'm sure the people here do. This is very interesting, Dr. Jamal. If you'd like to continue, okay. This is all we have today, so you can continue.
Okay. Sister, also, brother, and this is one of the researches, many research actually. Every research, I went to many universities. Social media addiction. Every day, marijuana and liquor and this and drugs and addiction. Believe it or not, this research is many people addicted to the social media, addicted to the phones. In fact, when I went to the university, even before my sickness, I went to the university. When the lecture finished, all the students were no exception. All the students, I saw people come out. The phone. By the way, with kind of researches that destroyed your life and you cannot even imagine. Yes, the taxes, phone, good, but not just finish working. Some people feel eating. By the way, very important. This is one of the research I said. Some people, they eat and texting or social media. And even some people, that was in Minnesota University, the TV and they eat. Guess what? Those whoever eat and the TV, they become big. I don't want to speak about it big. They forget themselves eating. No, the sunnah actually also to eat third of the food and third for the water and third empty, because if you can't too much, you cannot be stand up. But lost to become fat. You choose this yourself, brother and sister. To eat sometimes to social media and texting and eat. You don't feel that. You have to watch it as much as you can. Actually, completely better, especially this research in Minnesota. It scared me so much. When I eat now, I know how much I have to eat. I don't want to be big. You have to go work and you have to exercise. You have to move, especially after when you eat, brother and sister. Okay. Also, one of the research, actually, this research, long research, with all my respect, brother and sister. The many universities, that the relationship between husband and wife Many research, my respect, husband and wife should not have cell phone next to them, period. Number one. Number two, even your own kids, Islamically, by the way, you bring the shayateen to the house, the jinn to the house, the envy in the house, many bad things Islamically, but also scientifically. That bringing a relationship, corrupted the relationship with husband and wife and kids as well. Brothers and sisters, self-esteem is very important. Believe it or not, I have many research about self-esteem. Everybody wants to be something. When you look at this video and this picture, compare yourself, you belittle yourself. You choose that. You choose that to belittle yourself. Why? If I'm strong, be strong. Because this research, and when I look at how much that the negativity, the person become negative and negative everything to compare himself with the pictures, the social media, and this and that. That is more dangerous things, my dear brothers and sisters. Also, not only that, it's always thinking negative. And this negativity, by the way, destroyed in your own self. Very important to watch what you limit it. When I say hours and hours and hours, even 2 hours, anxiety. 2 hours a day, only all days, 2 hours, have the person anxiety. Even 1 hour, anxiety. But I went 2 hours, yeah. 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, in between, fine. No problem with that. I use it myself now. It's very good. Okay, brothers and sisters. Don't forget, negativity destroyed nations. And the people know I cannot do this. No, and we can. Don't forget, Allah Azza wa Jal give us brain to think right. Bring right this. Allah Azza وَهَدَيْنَاهُ النَّجْدَيْنِ, give you brain. Allah, this is right, this is wrong. I give you advice. If you listen to this, your life completely will change. Believe it or not. Anyway, but this is, I know this long subject, but social media, I said yes, but with limited, inshallah. Emotion. Some people, with all my respect, this is California also. I don't know, California, many research in California and New York as well. I said emotion relationship between husband and wife, a sister or brother not married. They go to social media to get married. They said, actually, I hear social media get married with social media, 98% divorce and in a court, and 19% they killed each other. 19% social media, and 4% they are married. But you never know. If this kind of big number become like a problem, then I have to be away from it. Later than something happened to me. To choose in the social media, have to be an authentic person to reach that person. You need also wali. And that the wali for especially a new system. You become a new system. That trust, the wali is supposed to be your father or your own brother or uncle. You have to protect you by protect your own family. Not make wali, okay, wali, get married. No, the majority of the people, Islamically even, no, I know some people, when I did the research, I saw Islamically, I saw many people got married because social media, they got married. Until now, I didn't see one single person online got married, normal life. I don't know. Allahu A'lam. May Allah protect us from that. But also, I found out even the Facebook more than in other social media. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us. So, I'll stop here. Also, before one of the research I did also about that a person become isolated himself completely and alone, loneless. I found that big research about especially youth and kids, especially youth, teenagers, become completely isolate themselves completely. But the result become insane. And they didn't know. They think, oh, I'm smart. I'm smart. But that person would isolate himself away from everybody else. His brain become completely wrong in his brain. So you have to protect yourself and brother, because anxiety is very dangerous. To be alone with no one, no, and even Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Do not travel unless someone with you, not alone. It's very important, brother and sister, just to watch yourself. You can have social media, yes, but don't isolate yourself. Texting all the time. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. Sister Layla, ourselves is only 5 minutes because I go to the masjid. Inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Alhamdulillah, this was such a great topic, and I'm sure we have a lot of questions. I've also trying to wait a minute. I am on. I'm messaging Sheikh Morsi. He's trying to get in. He can't get in. Join us on Zoom because we got a lot of questions. I know you got to get to the mosque, but we got a lot of questions need to be answered. Okay, first of all,
Sheikh Morsi is better than me, believe me.
He can't get in here, so one of y'all, I'm gonna need y'all. He don't have the link to the Zoom. It's just www. Why come y'all can't remember www.sunnahfollowers.net?
Tell me, yes, sir.
Wait a minute. Followers.net. Okay. A lot of questions. First of all, if you spoke, camera, I'm sorry. First of all, alhamdulillah, it was a great lecture. You spoke about how so many of us as Muslims and, non-Muslims too, we find ourselves addicted to social media. And so many of us recognize this addiction. What suggestions do you have to break this addiction? We're so used to the texting. We're so used to all that. Can you give us a way to break the addiction?
So the brother and sister, I have to judge myself and you have to judge yourself. The key, I know now I heard many stories about addiction, and that's gonna hurt me and my family. And not only that, my age, my face, my anxiety, that's gonna destroy my life. So I bring this to myself and Allah. وَفِي أَنفُسِكُمْ أَفَلَا تُبْصِرُونَ. In yourself, you cannot even judge yourself. You have to judge yourself, brother, because even you go to the doctor give me medicine for that. No one can give you medicine except you can bring the medicine. Yes, I have to limit it this time. And whoever, for example, if anybody call me in the time of Salah, my phone completely off. My advice, sister, I'm looking scientifically, not Islamically. Scientifically, you're gonna destroy your life step by step by step. Just to go to social media with no reason. And don't forget the news from here and there, your brain completely corruption inside, or trouble in your brain. You bring it yourself. And no one can give you the medicine except yourself. Yes, inshallah.
Alhamdulillah. And alhamdulillah, you spoke about the dangers, how social impact really impacts us when we watch the news and we watch all that's going on in the world. So many of us suffer with the anxiety and are afraid to even leave to go outside. In fact, some of us feel hopeless and afraid. What suggestions do you have, for us to be able to pull away? How can we pull away from watching the news if it's causing us to fear the outside? How can we pull away from these types of social media without and still stay in tune to what's going on in the world?
Sister, brother and sisters, all my respect, we have a debate between Trump and Biden for a few months. And even when those people attack the White House, we saw that. But let me ask a question. Me or you, brother and sister, can you fix the problem? You think me and you in America, I'm talking about in America here, even in the Middle East or whatever, you think me as not in charge of the White House? In fact, I can kill myself just to watch it with no reason. Don't forget the social, the TV, and even the news in general. Again, as I mentioned in the beginning, scientifically, your brain and anxiety can increase and increase and increase, and it's not your choice. You choose to be there. My advice: be away is better, because you're not going to change anything. To listen, yes, no problem to listen, but addicted to the TV, to that Trump or Biden or this person, that congressman and this and that, there's no benefits. If you know that, by the way, لو أنت تعرف ذلك, if you know that they're going to hurt you so much, why are you going to watch it? What is the reason? Sheikh Morsi, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. And I did not want to interrupt you.
Alhamdulillah, I'm so happy. But inshallah, I have to go to the masjid also, inshallah. Jazakallah khair.
No, you have to stay with us. I came to listen to you.
We got about a bunch of questions here too. Subhanallah, a lot of questions. Yeah. This topic was so great and you covered it so well. Subhanallah.
Sister Layla, I told you when Sheikh Morsi, I have to go to the masjid.
Okay. Well, Sheikh Morsi, we'll see if he can take over with these. Well, this one question that the sisters wanted to know. What is this? And women aging. What is this? She wants to know, you mentioned something about makeup and women aging. Can you explain that?
Sister, before the social media, we have magazine. A lot of magazine watching this magazine. Okay, especially a woman, with all my respect, sister, with women magazine. Sometimes with the magazine, I want to be like this one. I want to be this. Sometimes husband, why I want to be like this woman. You compare. Now, social media is a lot. Every day, people, if you are following some certain people, model and dressing you, and you compare yourself with that person, that woman, and the men, I want you to be just like her. And compare that woman, don't forget the Photoshop woman. You want just like me, I want my wife to be the same thing. With all my respect, Allah give you a wife, you be with your wife. Why? This social media is a fake. But you have to believe it is a fake. This is number one. You have to believe this is not really. Some people also had a video and this and that. Do you think that woman, number one, is haram? Of course, I'm not going to halal and haram. I'm going to speak, Sheikh Morsi is going to speak about halal and haram. But you know it's not right. And you know you're not that person, men and women, of course, to watch. You're not going to be in the middle of that. In fact, you destroyed your ability for sex with your husband and wife. Yes, inshallah, right now. Inshallah,
okay, you can go ahead, Dr. Jamali. Thank you for joining us. We have Sheikh Morsi here. Inshallah, he can take some questions. May Allah bless you and your family. And inshallah, we'll see you again later. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Okay, guys, we have Sheikh Mustafa Morsi here, Abu Atayib, my teacher. And inshallah, any questions? I know the questions I have that you guys have here are for Jamali, and he's not going to be able to answer them for you. Well, he could, but it would not be appropriate. But anyone here on Zoom, any questions you guys have about the dangers of social media and science if used incorrectly? Dr. Jamali brought up so many great points, how so many marriages, are destroyed, like he said, by men wanting their wives to look like the Photoshop women. Also how many people suffer with anxiety and stress due to social media. These questions I have are really just for him. Maybe Sheikh Morsi can answer this one. This sister says, many people suffer with feelings of loneliness and despair. Social media takes them away from that. How can such a person identify if the method of social media they are using is good or bad for them?
Well, I did not, I don't know what Dr. Ibrahim said about the lecture. I think, how do you know the social media is good or bad?
Yes.
See if the subject, what they are talking about. So the subject, people they talk in the media, it is either halal or haram or permissible. You have three things. Halal, like they talk about religion, about deen, about Islam, about something beneficial, about medicine, about anything which is useful. Haram, if it talks about sex, about something illegal. Permissible, like cooking, whatever. Okay, selling, buying and selling, trading, or anything. So this is the three things. So you know what is it is halal or haram or permissible. Wallahu a'lam.
Okay, we have a different question here. Like I said, the rest of the questions I'm going to put on hold because, like Sheikh Morsi said, he wasn't here for the lecture, so he can't really answer those. But so any other questions about any other topic or whatever, or anything that relates to this topic you guys have, you can type it. And here we go with some questions. Okay, first question is from Brother Murad. And by the way, guys, people in the Zoom room, Brother Murad, you have the ability, you can use your microphone because it's kind of hard for me to read. Can you use your mic, Brother Murad? It's kind of hard for me. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
My question was, if I live far from the masjid and I don't have a car either, do I still have to pray every prayer in the masjid or?
Okay, you can pray at home, inshallah.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Okay, Sister Fame, can you take the mic too? Sister Fame, your question is very long. Can you use your mic, or do I have to I got a microphone. Guys, if you guys, look what I have to use. If you guys can take the mic, please do, because I have to use this to see. I cannot see this because Zoom is so small. Fame, hold on. Social media, technology addiction, phone addiction, any form of addiction. Islam teaches to be moderate, even in acts of worship. If married man spends majority time reading Quran and praying and not fulfilling responsibility for his wife and family, that also creates problems. Zoom and Facebook webinars are forms of social media, but here on Sunnahfollowers, an internet, oh, she's talking, an internet outlet is being used for good to connect Muslims around the world. Okay, all right. That wasn't a question, that's a statement. Okay, any other questions? I mean, if Fresno or anyone, please use your mic so I don't have to use this. Okay, I bought it though for that. Okay, any other questions?
Okay, this is Amina, and I'm not gonna put on the video today. I'm not testing, but I didn't really hear.
Okay, you'll get closer to your mic. We can't
We
hardly
cannot hear. We cannot hear.
Oh, wait, I'm gonna have to go in the room. I'm gonna go in the room.
Yeah, we can't hear you at all, sweetheart.
We cannot hear.
While she's going to the room, any other questions? And people on Facebook, I can see your typing too. If you have questions there, you can type them on the screen. Any topic. This is Sheikh Morsi.
Assalamu alaikum.
Go ahead. Walaikum salam.
I got a question. I noticed that there's a lot of sheikhs are on social media now, a lot. And I want to know who's real and who's not real, because there's so many different ones and they do so much different stuff, and you really don't know who to follow and who not to follow. So how would you know who, and is it the right one? Are they real? That kind of thing.
Okay. This is easy and not easy same time. So you should ask. Allah said, ask the people of knowledge if you don't know. Like you trust Sister Layla, you can talk to her or talk to me or talk to Dr. Ibrahim. If you have doubt or you don't know some speakers on the media, you don't know if they are good or bad, you can call us and ask about these people if you trust us. Okay, so generally the people, they talk about Sunnah, following the Hadith, they follow the Quran and the Sunnah, not Quran only. Because some people, they say we are Quraniyun. It means we follow only Quran, but and they don't believe in the Sunnah. Okay, but we follow Quran and the Sunnah because the Quran told us to follow the Sunnah. We cannot pray without Sunnah. We cannot do Hajj without Sunnah. The Quran is like a constitution, and the details in the Sunnah. And this is what Allah exactly said in the Quran. He told the Prophet, لِتُبَيِّنَ لَهُمْ لِلنَّاسِ مَا نُزِّلَ إِلَيْهِمْ, to explain to the people what is was sent to them. Okay, so the Prophet, he explained the constitution through his ahadith. So if you find someone is talking about Quran and Sunnah, is not from Shia, okay, because Shia, they are deviated. They don't believe in the Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They have their own books, okay. So he is following Al-Quran and the Sunnah, graduated from like Al-Azhar or Al-Medina, or you can from anywhere, and they follow the Sunnah like Sister Layla. The people, they follow the Sunnah. Even our website is Al-Quran and Sunnahfollowers, okay. So if you don't know, you ask. Wallahu a'lam.
Assalamu alaikum. Can you hear me now?
Yes,
go ahead.
alaikum assalam, sis.
That was what I was going to ask, because the whole thing was supposed to be about how can you tell the right one from the wrong one, and you just broke it down. You said we ask. Open your mouth and ask a question. If somebody's saying something that's questionable, then I ask you, or I ask Layla, or so alhamdulillah. That was basically what I was going to say.
Yeah, unfortunately, guys, Dr. Jamali changed the topic at the last minute to the dangers of science and technology and social media. But, you know, we're going to talk more about this topic, inshallah. Should have been next week, maybe. But again, like Dr. Sheikh Morsi said, if you guys are in doubt, always, like the Prophet had asked the people in knowledge. And if they're talking about Islam, Sister Lucy, I know you're new to the religion. Listen to how they relate it. You know how when I'm teaching you guys, everything I say, I relate it back to what Allah said. And also I give you the hadiths to support it, because the hadiths are the explanation of the Quran. If they're speaking about Islam and doing that, then that's a good thing. But if they're just speaking, giving you their opinion, and they're not backing it up with anything from the Sunnah, which are the hadiths, you know, then that's when you know something's fishy. Because like Sheikh Morsi said, a lot of people use the Quran and that's it. You hear them talking and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said this, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that, but there's no hadith mentioned. You know, it's important for them to mention the hadiths, because the hadiths are the explanation of the Quran, and that shows that the person is not using their own opinion. They're taking it back to the Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And if there's something that they're unsure about, they'll tell you what the companion said, what Abu Bakr said, how Ibn Abbas explained it, you know, or how Aisha explained it. So that's how you can basically tell. But that's called El Furqan, and Allah gives El Furqan only to people whom he loved. But until you reach the level of understanding where you can recognize truth and falsehood yourself, just ask us, like we do here in the Zoom. I'm always telling you guys in the Zoom room who to stay away from. I've been doing that every night because so many things are happening and you got to be aware of it. Yeah, any other questions? Yeah, any other questions like that? Check Facebook. Okay, none. Okay, guys, well, if there's no other questions, and inshallah, I know the topic changed real quick, and we'll close it out for tonight. And inshallah, next Sunday, We'll speak about the topic of how to recognize truth from falsehood from the speakers next Sunday, inshallah. So we're going to close it out, and inshallah until next Sunday, subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik, and thank you for joining us.
Assalamu alaikum.